Good evening. I want to talk a little bit today about a company that I've worked for now for about a year and a half. I've also had the opportunity to do my internship within my current job. So this is it's been quite an experience for me this semester. Um, with this company, they have a mission. This organization was founded in 1983 by the Western North Carolina Conference of the United Methodist Church. UMAR is a nonprofit dedicated to promoting community inclusion, independence, and growth for adults with intellectual and developmental disabilities through residential, vocational, and cultural enrichment opportunities. With that being said, these individuals they do anything from activities sitting at the kitchen table, cooking their own meals, maybe baking a cake, to going out to work every day. Their lives are no different from the lives that me and you live every day. They're independent, they're very active, and they live a quality of life that they can be proud of, and every day they have goals that they work on that help them to achieve an even greater quality of life. So, with that being said, this company works towards, building and encouraging these individuals to be as independent, with their lives, their everyday lives, as possible. And what they can't independently do, we as staff are there to assist them and to encourage them, and to make sure that, whatever it is they struggle with or they need help with, they have someone there to that's going to support them, in their endeavors. So this is the objective, this is the goal of the company, and also the goal that we as employees for the company have is to, help these individuals to be as independent as possible. UMAR has a vision, and that vision is to pioneer diverse and lifelong supports for adults with developmental disabilities. Um, with that being said, we want to try out new things, to have different ideas to explore and have these individuals to have the opportunity to try new things and to be a part of different things, to be active and participate in activities that you know it might be something they've never experienced, but it'll help to bring that diversity to their lives, in hopes of maybe introducing something to them that it might be turn out to be a thing for them. And, it might turn out to be something that interests them and can become a part of their everyday life, something that they on their own can enjoy. As far as supports, there are different things that we have to use in order to support these individuals, whether it be talking to them, conversating with them, using certain physical supports to help them. We're there to support them in any possible way we can, and whatever diversity comes with that, we're open to that, and hopefully these individuals are open to it as well. UMAR provides a variety of residential services. These services go from um, single homes to apartment homes. UMAR has, I believe, 9 apartment homes. Um, some of the locations are Gastonia, Charlotte, Concord, Asheville, Reedsville, Hayesville, and there are a few other homes and apartments that UMAR has um, across North Carolina, and they're all there to provide, services of support for individuals with developmental intellectual disabilities. These services are meant to empower these individuals, knowing they have their own home, their own space, you know, they're um, they're responsible for their own home and their own space. So they're living their lives on life terms. They're doing what they want to do. They're happy in their own space. They're happy in their own environment, and they're able to do what they want to do, and we're there to support them in any way that we possibly can. As I spoke before, UMAR operates group homes in neighborhoods across Western North Carolina. Um, 6 individuals live in a home. The home that I work in, there are 6 individuals there, and they're monitored 24 hours by in-home staff. I'm actually the live-in at the home that I work at, and working in my internship, I was actually practicing as a QP. So it was quite different from my everyday task, but it's been enlightening, and it's been encouraging to see a different side of that job. But back to the actual group living, these individuals live in this home. This is their space. They're responsible for the upkeep of their home. They're independent. Independently taking care of themselves, taking care of their homes. They're washing dishes, cleaning their room, folding their clothes. They're living life. And we're there to support them in any way that we possibly can. We're there to encourage them, and to let them know that no matter how small the task that they perform, that's progress. They're growing, and they're maintaining strength. As an individual by performing tasks and doing things for themselves. With very little assistance from us, and a lot of times, they're very independent, and they want to be able to do things on their own, and we're very happy to see that when they do it. Very happy to see that they want to do things on their own, and I'm just there to make sure that they're safe, and nothing happens to them. As I spoke before, UMAR is very committed to helping people be as independent as possible. We don't want to enable the individuals and hinder their growth in any way. So to encourage them to do things on their own, is very important to them. It's very important to their life. To be able to get up every day and know that the things that are being accomplished in their home and around their home is because of their efforts, and that helps to build their confidence and their self-esteem. So it's very important, that their environment is you know less restrictive as possible. You know, as long as they're safe, and there's no harm, any danger of harm, any form of, um, as long as they're not, in, their safety is not an issue, then, what they want to do, and, their choices and their decisions are what's important. At the end of the day, we just want to make sure that they're safe, and, there's no hazards or anything like that we need to be concerned with, whatever they're doing. So as long as is they're safe and there's no real dangers, hazards or anything like that. They're free to live their life as they wish. Working at UMAR, as far as my internship, like I said, it's been a very challenging experience, and it's very different than my everyday task. I'm having to speak with staff, which I do that on my regular job, but to sit down and communicate with staff as far as individuals that I don't work with every day, it that was a different experience for me. Um, having to having to gather information, even though I, had the confidentials and I was able to read about the history of the individual that I was, practicing my person centered plan on. There was a lot of information that I got through communication with my coworker that wasn't there in the history, the written history. So, that was enlightening for me to, be able to compare the interaction with my coworker and the written history of the individual. There's a lot, there was a lot missing from the written history that came out through verbal interaction with my coworker. So, that was interesting. And it was very, very encouraging for me. And it taught me, that just everyday interaction, conversation, just communication, just how important that is. It's very important to be able to communicate when it comes to these individuals because sometimes, a lot of the times, the history, the written history doesn't have the whole story. I spoke a little bit about the person centered plan that I worked on in my internship, and in doing so, some of the stuff was some of the work that I did was it came kind of free flowing. It was easy for me as far as how to word things and how to put things into to words to where the person that will be reading it would understand what I was saying. And then there were certain parts that I've never been introduced to. Um, Although I did the work, it it was not familiar to me. I was able to do the wording as far as the written part, but it's the job as a QP is not something that I've ever done or ever experienced, and I've never worked in this field before working at UMAR. So it was interesting to see these forms and it was challenging to try to figure out, what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. Um, I eventually figured it out. And the whole challenge of it was the most exciting thing for me. I don't know. I welcome challenges. I feel like that's where my growth comes in at is by being challenged and pretty much taking that challenge on and doing my very best at it. So that's what I did, and I spoke with my supervisor about the work that I did, and she felt that I you know did pretty well with what I achieved, and so I'm happy with that. Um, UMAR is the company. It's a company that strives to make sure that these individuals are living a, a life of quality. I'll have to say that they go out of their way to make sure that these individuals are getting what they need in their everyday life. birthday parties, cookouts, going to the beach. They tell me stories of things that they've done since they've lived in the home, and it's exciting to hear, and it's exciting to be a part of. So um, I would definitely recommend this company for anyone who's looking for a safe, you know, loving, encouraging community for their family member or friend. Working for you more, the skills that I've learned, I believe that they are skills that I can take anywhere in this field, and that's communication, um, documentation, support, you know, all these things that I've had to perform and that I do perform on a daily basis just through my regular job. These are skills that I can use anywhere. Everyone can use encouragement. You know, when it comes to human services, one thing that I've learned is that documentation is very important. Communication is very important. These are all things that we need in order to, attain services, in order to, establish bonds and rapport with people so that, you know, processes can begin in order to help others. So, um, what I've done here, I'm sorry, what I've done here at UMAR is something that I feel I can be proud of. Um, and what's happened during my internship that has made an impact on my choice to work in this field is the challenges. I would have to say, the everyday challenges is what is pushing me to work in this field because I don't know. I love to be challenged. I just feel like if I'm not being challenged, then I'm not growing. There's no opportunity for me to grow. So the challenges within this field is enough to get me up and running and pursuing, this field. So, and as far as higher education, it's definitely pushed me towards pursuing higher education because I ultimately would like to work as a counselor, and I will definitely need to go back to school in order to achieve that. So, with the challenges and, it's, I don't know, it's calling my name. So I definitely want to pursue a higher education in order to provide services in this field as far as counseling and be able to help individuals, you know, on different levels. Maybe not individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities, but just individuals who deal with everyday stresses, whether it be depression, homelessness, you know, unemployment. It doesn't matter what it is. Like I want to be that person that can provide resources or emotional support for individuals who are struggling. So that's definitely one of my goals. Um, how did my work site experience prepare me to achieve or work toward accomplishing a career goal? Again, I would have to say the challenges and the fact that although they were difficult at times, and I was kind of wary at times, I was able to overcome, the challenges that I was faced with, and I believe that is preparing me, for a career in this field. And as long as I can continue to face these challenges and overcome them, continue to do the work, then I'll eventually, you know, achieve the goal of a career in this field. Thank you.